Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and in today's video, we have a very exciting stream to bring you guys. This was already going to be one of our best streams that we have ever done. We have some phenomenal technical and fundamental analysis and discussion that we want to bring up, talking about the next year on Bitcoin. But just about 15 minutes ago, we got some breaking news because $26.2 million worth of shorts were liquidated and pushed Bitcoin all the way up to $55,000. We're going to be talking about that as well in today's show. We got a lot of great content to bring you, and as I said in chat, if we hit 2,500 likes today, I will wrap. You guys have been asking for it for like a year. Today's the day. If we get to 2,500 likes before the end of the stream, I just might do that. So make sure you like the stream. Guys, we've got a great show lined up for you today. I cannot wait to jump into it. Today, Tim is still out sick, unfortunately, but we are joined by our very own Chief Financial Officer, Manny Ramos. How are you doing, Manny?
What is happening, guys? Listen, I really want to personally hear Jebb rap. Let's get to that 20. You said 2,500 likes, right?
2,500
that
likes.
Is super doable. Guys, this is going to be awesome.
Got 2,000
we hear
yesterday.
Jebb rap, it's going down. So
Yes,
let's
sir.
do this.
Yes, sir. It's going to be great. I cannot wait. We're also joined, as always, by Smay, who is our producer. Smay, how you doing,
Hello,
buddy?
everybody. I have the special privilege this morning to shout out our special members.
Let's go, members!
So I want to shout out special member Neil Melker. Thank you
Neil.
so much for being a member.
Neil.
Christopher McFarland and Brandon Seagrave, thank you guys so much for being members. If you guys want to check out the membership, there is a link in the description. It is awesome.
There you go, guys. Shout out to our members. Thank you guys so very much for that. Got a couple of announcements. Number one, I do need to let you know that price predictions are going to be postponed until next week. I'm not talking about the price prediction that we're doing here today of $150,000 Bitcoin by the end of the cycle. That's not what I'm talking about. If you know our show, we do a weekly price prediction, and whoever wins the HODL trophy. Manny, can you hold up the HODL trophy really quickly?
HODL.
Manny is currently holding that for Tim because Tim won last week, but we will be bringing back the HODL trophy next week. Really quickly, before we jump into our analysis, we're first going to be talking about the bullish sentiment. We're going to be doing some longer-term technical analysis. I literally have about 30 points here that I want to go over on the bullish side and 2 points on the bearish side for Bitcoin. We're going to be starting off with some bullish technical analysis. Then we're going to be jumping into our bearish in our second segment. That'll start around the top of the hour. And then we got some discussion having to do with inflation that we're going to jump into. Before we get started, I did need to let you know this show is brought to you by our very own Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. Guys, we have managed to help over 5,000 students gain financial freedom by teaching them all of the tips and the tools of the trade of technical analysis. We're going to be doing a lot of technical analysis in today's show, and literally every single indicator, every single chart formation, everything having to do with technical analysis that we're going to be doing today, you can learn about in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. We've got over 14 hours of content, over 40 videos to teach you what you need to know. Save yourself some time. Don't miss out on this bull market that's starting. Expedite your own learning journey. You can click the link down below to learn more. With that said, let's go ahead and jump onto the chart. We have a lot to talk about. First and foremost, we got to add a little addendum to the show map today and talk about what just happened this morning, because literally just a couple of minutes ago, we had a massive breakout on Bitcoin. Bitcoin was sitting below some critical resistance at $53,000. Just this morning, we had seen Bitcoin rallying up to this level, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the level that I'm talking about. If you didn't know, there was local resistance on Bitcoin sitting at $53,000. And this actually lines up with $1 trillion market capitalization, which means that we had convergent resistance sitting right around 53,000. Well, I'm sure you guys noticed, because you guys were blowing up the chat talking about it a second ago, Bitcoin broke right through that not long ago. We broke through this. There were a lot of people shorting. And as you can see over here on Kelly Kellum's Twitter, I believe he has it right here. Fuel the hashtag Bitcoin pump as we broke 53 and light the rocket via a short squeeze. Now let's just see if we can find support at 53 or retrace a little further. You can see right here, Will Clemente tweeted this. We saw $26 million worth of future shorts get liquidated. That pushed Bitcoin $2,600 to the upside in the span of 2 minutes. I have been saying for the last 3 weeks that $53,000 is the gate and key to all-time high. Now that we've broken that, the gloves are off, guys. We're going right back to all-time high in just the next little while. You guys know I did a price prediction video for the month of October, starting at the beginning of the month. I said in the month of October, I think Bitcoin's going to go to at least $55,000 to $60,000. Plan B has a minimum price prediction of $63,000 for the month of October. It is October 6th. and we've already hit $55,000. It's going to be a very, very bullish month. Let's do a little bit of a recap on where we are, and then we're going to jump into our analysis. First thing to talk about is this Lux Algo buy signal that we saw a couple of days ago. Remember this, guys. On October the 4th, 2 days ago, we saw a strong buy signal on Bitcoin. If you've been watching our channel, you would have known this because we talked about this strong buy signal on Lux Algo and the fact that we were likely going to have a big rally as a result of it. Last time we saw a strong buy signal on Lux Algo was the 26th of July. That led to a 50% rally on Bitcoin. If you guys want to get Lux Algo, it's one of my favorite premium indicators on the market. You can find a link down below. It called this rally. I don't need to say anymore. You get the point. Here's the deal. My notes that I wrote an hour ago literally reads this, and I'll read verbatim from my notes. $53,000 is the next major resistance. Not only is it a local high, it's also $1 trillion market capitalization for Bitcoin. If we break $53,000, the gloves are off and we go to 65. I wrote that an hour ago when I was doing the planning for this stream. We have now done that, which means that the short-term technicals for Bitcoin are overwhelmingly bullish. But I want to go ahead and dive into the weekly chart, actually. We don't look at the weekly chart a lot. But the point of this show is actually not about this short-term movement. We're going to be talking about the significance of this short-term movement, but the point of this show is I want to figure out, okay, where are we going over the next 6 months, over the next 12 months? Look, guys, we have been doing short-term technical analysis on Bitcoin almost every single day. We have talked to you at length about why Bitcoin is going to go to $55,000, $60,000, $63,000, maybe even $65,000 this month. And I've just shown you the fact that we've broken bullish, but I really want to show you some things happening on the weekly chart so that we can get an idea of where this market is going in the long run. So let's go ahead and jump out to the weekly chart. The very first thing I want to show you is on the weekly chart, there is currently a strong buy signal on Lux Algo as well. Lux Algo, again, coming in clutch, giving us an idea of where Bitcoin is going next. We saw this strong buy signal come in on the 9th of August that week when we were sitting around $44,000. The last time we saw a strong buy signal on Lux Algo was over in June of 2020. Of course, that strong buy signal led to a 600% rally. Before that, we had a buy signal that called this rally, where we saw Bitcoin rally from $4,000 to $13,000 in 84 days. And of course, you might look at this strong buy signal right here on the 27th of January 2020 and say, okay, that wasn't a very good signal. Here's the deal, guys. This is when the thing that shall not be named from the beginning of last year began, so this is a fluke. You can't really hold this against Lux Algo. But in general, the last three proper signals have been incredibly bullish for Bitcoin. We've seen no less than a 200% rally following them, and we are seeing the same thing happen on the weekly chart. Furthermore, not just that, there is a very important chart formation here on the weekly chart, which looks like this. There was a red, green, red formation on weekly. We talked about that about a week ago. But as of the last couple of weeks, September 20th's week and also September 27th's week have finally closed. What we've seen are, one, very long lower shadows. That indicates the bulls are strong, the bears are weak, the bears are getting, are losing to the bulls, and most importantly, there's a bullish engulfing candlestick formation right here. Notice we also had a bullish engulfing candlestick formation in these weeks over here, the 12th of July and the 19th of July. Guys, we are just getting started. I literally have close to 30 technical things that I need to show you. This is just number 2. Stay tuned. We got a lot to talk about why Bitcoin is going to moonshot here. This bullish engulfing candlestick formation is a very big deal. Moving on here, we can also look at Bollinger Bands. Take notice of this, guys. When was the last time that Bollinger Bands on the weekly chart were actually widening? The last time was the week of the 5th of April, 2021. As of 2 weeks ago, the Bollinger Bands have started widening again. We saw the Bollinger Bands constricting for 4 months. What does that mean? It means that we're moving to the downside. It means that we are losing volatility. We want to see high volatility for a bull market to continue. We have seen over the last 2 weeks, the Bollinger Bands continue to widen. That is a very, very strong sign. Another thing to look at here, the Ichimoku cloud. I don't talk about the cloud very much, but it is actually very important in this context. Drop a 1 in chat if you'd like to see more content around the Ichimoku cloud in the future. I'm just showing the cloud right now. I've turned off part of the indicator, but you can see on the weekly chart, we are finding support again on that level. Very, very big deal. Moving on here, we're also finding support on another key level, which is the 20 weekly exponential moving average. For those of you who have been watching the channel for more than 2 years, drop a 7 in chat if you're one of our OG followers from back in the day before I did a face reveal. Make sure you give me a 7 in chat so I know who's who. You will remember I did a video a very long time ago on the 20 weekly EMA, because the 20 weekly EMA, looking here historically, is the level of support that the Bitcoin market likes to hold during bull markets. Take a look at 2016-17. We touched this level of support over and over and over again, on the order of a dozen times. We did the same thing in our 2 previous rallies. We we saw this being the support that the market needed to hold. Well, as of the last couple of weeks, we have officially held this support. Very, very good sign. And on top of that, we're also holding what's known as the 50 weekly simple moving average, which, of course, 50 weeks, there's 52 weeks in a year. This is basically a yearly moving average of the price action of Bitcoin. So the simple fact is, us holding that means that we are still moving to the upside over the span of a year. That's another very important level that we are holding. Now, another thing that I want to show you here, and like I said, guys, I'm throwing a lot of technicals at you. I understand that if you're newer to technical analysis, you might be saying, whoa, what the heck? There's so much stuff Jebb's saying. Give me a second. I'm going to wrap all this up into a nice, neat bow, but I got to get the facts out here first for all of you guys who have been doing technical analysis for a while. Again, if you want to learn more, you can check CT2A. The link's in the description box down below. I promise this might seem complicated. I'm going to simplify it for you here in just a second, but I want to make sure you know everything we're looking at. Another thing I want to show you is this. There is some massive bullish RSI divergence showing up on the weekly chart for Bitcoin right now. And quite frankly, guys, this is a big enough deal that I'm thinking about making an entire video out of it. Take a look at this. There's this uptrending level of support on Bitcoin, which, by the way, is a bullish technical in its own right. We bounced off of that level over the last couple of weeks. That uptrending level of support contradicts a downtrending level of support on the RSI. What is that? Bullish RSI divergence. What do we know about bullish RSI divergence? The longer the RSI divergence plays out, this RSI divergence has been playing out since September of last year, so it's a year worth of RSI divergence. The longer it's been playing out, the more bullish it is. This RSI divergence alone predicts well over $100,000 for Bitcoin. This is a very big piece of bullish technical analysis. Another thing to look at here is the MACD. The MACD over the last week has started to diverge bullish again. We almost crossed bearish. We didn't. If you look back on the history of the MACD here on Bitcoin, and you look at every time it's crossed bullish in history, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does cross bullish, you can see we almost always go into a big rally. Well, take a look at that. We just saw the same thing happen about a month ago, and we are now going to be going into the same rally here. You see what I'm doing? I'm building a long-term case on the weekly chart, which we don't look at as much because there are so many bullish factors out here right now that you cannot miss. The final thing that I want to show you on the weekly chart is this. And I'm actually going to go onto the daily chart just to draw the pattern, but it shows up on the weekly chart, so I'm going to classify it there. We have, as you can see, a triangle pattern that Bitcoin has been in for over a year. Downtrending level of resistance here, uptrending level of support here. Well, as of yesterday, like this just happened. As of yesterday, we've broken that downtrending level of resistance, meaning that we are now breaking bullish out of a year-long symmetrical triangle pattern. That is a very, very good sign. That's all I got for you on the weekly chart. Let's wrap the weekly chart technicals up into a really nice, neat bow to make this simple for you. The weekly chart is overwhelmingly bullish. There is one bearish technical that I'm going to be getting into in about 15 minutes, so stay tuned for that. But frankly, it actually makes a lot of sense that it's there, and I don't think it's something to be concerned about. The fact is, the long-term technical analysis on the weekly chart gives us insight as to what might be happening over the next 3, 6, 12 months. We need to be paying attention to what happens over the next 3, 6, 12 months, not just what happens in October. We have a lot of content on the channel talking about what's going to happen in October. We're very bullish. The future for the next 3, 6, 12 months technically looks phenomenal, and these are some of the reasons why. But let's jump down to the daily chart because I have some more things to show you here. Number one, the Bollinger Bands are still widening. You can see over the last 5 days, the Bollinger Bands have gone from constricting, meaning we were losing volatility, meaning we were losing a very important fundamental. Remember, when we're going into an uptrend, we want to see 3 things: high volume, high volatility, high retail investor interest. The volatility is measured by the Bollinger Bands. That has continued to widen. That's a very, very good sign. On top of that, Lux Algo, as I mentioned earlier, I'll just re-mention it, did have a strong buy signal 3 days ago, so that's a very good sign. Again, the last time we saw that, we had a 50% rally. Very, very good sign there. On top of that, we're also above 2 of our very, very important technical trend lines and moving averages, excuse me. We're above the 20 daily exponential moving average, and we're above the 50 daily simple moving average. Both of those are key levels of support. Bitcoin has managed to bounce off of both of them. Furthermore, we've also bounced off of the Ichimoku cloud. You guys can see we attempted to push down into it, and the cloud gave us a lot of support in the same way we did on the weekly chart. And I can't get into all of it today because it would take a little bit of a time to explain. But for any of you guys who use Market Cipher, you can see that we're still very bullish on Market Cipher. The momentum's been moving to the upside. The money flow is moving to the upside. The VWAP looks okay. Our RSI comparative up here is looking well. And we have several green dots. I'm not going to go into a detail on what I mean by all of that. If you want to learn more about Market Cipher, drop a 10 in chat, and I'd be more than happy to make a dedicated video explaining how it works. We only have a couple more technicals here. that I want to show you before we go to some fundamentals, and they show up on the 4-hourly chart. Number one, we had bearish RSI divergence yesterday that looked like this on the Bitcoin chart. It looked like this. It was not great. I did say yesterday it's one of the only bearish technicals that we have. We have now officially broken that. This RSI divergence is no longer in play, so we can nix that. That being gone is a very good sign for the 4-hourly chart. And also, funnily enough, another note that I wrote this morning about an hour ago is that we have, and I promise you guys, we start the show at 7:30, at 9:30. I come in at 7:30 and start doing the technical analysis and planning this. I wrote a note at about 8 o'clock this morning, an hour and 45 minutes ago. There is a price target of $55,000 based on this bull flag. You can see right here. I wrote in the note that we have a price target of $54,500 to $55,000 based on this bull flag, and then it went up. Then it went ahead and happened right when we were going live. So that note's a little bit outdated, but I just figured I'd let you know we had price analysis that was saying that was going to happen. Now I have just a couple more things, and they actually show up on the monthly chart. Let's take a look at the monthly chart. We have some very, very interesting analysis out here that Kelly, who is one of the people that helps bring us this show, he helps us research, and he is actually going to be an official member of the team pretty soon. He showed us that during bull markets, we almost always have a double top on the RSI. Well, notice we've only had one top on the RSI so far. There's almost always two legs to the bull market. Right now, we've only seen one. That indicates we're going to see a second leg coming in. So really quickly, that's what the technical analysis looks like. And actually, I forgot to mention this also, there is a buy signal that just happened on the monthly chart. This is another thing my notes are outdated. Look, an hour can outdate some of your notes in technical analysis. This is really big. I didn't even know this until I just turned it on. This is breaking right now, guys. This just happened. I had in my notes, Lux Algo, is there a buy signal coming in on the monthly chart? Well, because we just rallied a couple $1,000s, we had that buy signal on Lux Algo come in on the monthly chart. The last time we saw a buy signal on the monthly chart for Lux Algo was in June of 2019. Bitcoin rallied at 500% from there. We saw the same thing happen in July 2016, rallied 3,000% from there. This is only the third time this has ever happened in the history of Bitcoin. It has an average rally following it of over 1,000%. Very, very big deal there. And one final thing, I know I've said that 3 times, but I promise this is actually the last thing. We have a green, red, green formation there. So, technicals right now, guys, I've made my case. I've talked your ear off for 15 minutes. They're incredibly bullish. Obviously, you get that. We're going to talk about the 1 or 2 bearish technicals I found here in a second. But I just kind of want to wrap all this up into a bow. Manny, you're not somebody who does a lot of technical analysis because you are so focused on our finances and making sure everything's running well with the company. Did that all make sense? What did you take away from what I just said? And can I break it down in a more digestible way for any of our newcomers?
Absolutely. I drop a 1 in chat if you think Jebb would do amazing being an auction person, being the person who auctions off people. You get a win, you get a here's wins $100. Here's Jebb.
I get that a lot.
Awesome. He's incredible. Hey, listen, you don't need to play Jebb at 1.5 speed. You need to play Jebb at 0.5 speed because all of these things, he's on it. He knows what he's talking about. And for each and every one of you, here, let me tell you one thing here. Jebb is dedicated. The man knows what he's talking about. We have research stuff happen every single morning. It's awesome. Does that make sense to me? Absolutely. What I know right now, Bitcoin is flying, baby. That's what I know. I know crypto is hot. I know crypto is a good market. I trust my man's Jebb. That's why I work for him. I love him. It's going to be a good year.
Well, thank you, Manny. Yeah. Absolutely. We're going to bring you back in here in a minute because we want to talk about inflation. But really quickly, if you guys are enjoying today's show, smash that like button.
Come on, like button.
If we get to 2,500 likes, I will rap for
2,500 for a rap.
We can do that. We can do that. We got 2,000 likes yesterday, and the price wasn't doing anything as close to as interesting as it is today. We also have a couple of other things that I want to show you. Number one, let's jump back onto my screen. These charts show, and by the way, this is going to start leading us into this longer-term price analysis, these longer-term price predictions we're discussing. These charts show the next bull run isn't stopping at 100K, but far beyond. The first chart in this article here is this. The stock-to-flow model for Bitcoin, as you know, predicts well over $100,000 Bitcoin in the next little while. Plan B, the pseudonymous creator of the stock-to-flow model, based on the factual stock-to-flow ratio, says that we should be at minimum $135,000 by the end of December 2021. I completely agree with him. I think we will be far surpassing that. But you can also take a look at this screen right here, this chart right here. You can see here on something published by Lark Davis, by the way. Go follow him, the Crypto Lark on YouTube. You can see after the halving events in the history of Bitcoin, keeping in mind diminishing returns and lengthening cycles, the first time we saw a halving within 365 days, we rallied 10,000%. The second halving within 525 days, we rallied 2,880% or $18,000. If we were to see something similar with lengthening cycles decreasing price targets in 700 days after the Bitcoin halving, we could be seeing $185,000 Bitcoin, which would be a 2,000% return. I think Lark Davis is absolutely correct here, and I think that we are going to see something similar to that. This is setting the stage for what we're discussing here, guys. I need you to understand one thing. The market is unlikely to have another 80% correction, first and foremost. Drop a 77 in chat if you'd like to see a video where I break down why we're never going to see a bear market like we saw in 2018 again. I don't think for a second we're ever going to see an 85% correction on Bitcoin again. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think we're going to see a bear market like we've ever seen in past ever again. That being said, I do think we're going to see a bull market the likes of which we've never seen, and we're going to see a multi-trillion-dollar Bitcoin. And I think that Bitcoin is going to be rallying well over $150,000 by the end of quarter 2, 2022. So that's within the next 8 to 9 months, we're going to see Bitcoin rallying above that. Another thing to look at here, which is really, really, really interesting. Again, I believe Lark Davis published this, and this is something that this article is quoting. Has to do with gold in the 1970s. Take a look at this gold graph overlaying on Bitcoin. Do you see anything similar here? Bitcoin hit a $1.2 trillion market cap. If Bitcoin did the same thing that gold did, Bitcoin would be going to a $5 trillion market cap. Where would that put Bitcoin? Well, it'd put it at $250,000 by when? The end of quarter 1, 2022. Gold did something very similar at this time. And by the way, this actually is similar to what we saw gold do when it had an ETF launch. March 28th, 2003, gold rallied, a well-established asset class, well-established market. Gold had been around since the beginning of human history. After we saw an ETF launch in 2003 on gold, we rallied 478% in the span of just 10 years. We could see the very same thing happen on Bitcoin here. And this chart proves it. We saw something very similar happen to gold here. We saw gold move through this rally, and then we had that ETF come in 2003. We saw a massive rally. We see that Bitcoin is the next evolution of gold. It is digital gold. It is decentralized. It has a limited supply. It is inflation hedging. It is inflation hardened. People use it as a hedge against inflation. There is every reason to believe that Bitcoin is going to do something similar to what gold did. If Bitcoin followed the gold market, we'd be at $250,000 by the end of quarter 1, 2022. I don't necessarily think we're going to rally quite that fast, but I think we are in the right ballpark when we look at factors such as that. Now, another thing I want to show you has to do with this article. Take a look here. This has to do with the net unrealized profit and loss. You may have heard of this. This is called the NUPL. And by the way, in 3 minutes, we are going to be jumping into our intermission. We're going to be reading some super chats. Really looking forward to that. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure to hit that like button. Looking at the NUPL, we can see that during the previous bull markets, I'm not going to be able to go into how this is all calculated right now, but looking at the previous bull markets, we can see that there were several corrections during the middle of the bull market. This kind of relates to what I was talking about earlier on the monthly chart with the RSI. There are two major tops on all of these bull markets. We've seen one so far. What we're seeing with the NUPL is that there were several retests in the middle of the bull market, and then we went on to all-time highs. Right now, it looks like we're seeing the same thing, a mid-cycle correction with a second leg to the bull market incoming. So here's the thing, guys. The fundamentals are so incredibly bullish on Bitcoin, it's not even funny. The technicals are so incredibly bullish on Bitcoin, it's not even funny. The on-chain metrics right now on Bitcoin are so incredibly bullish, it's not even funny. Right now, we are seeing the fastest growth in miners in the cryptocurrency space that we've ever seen. That's incredibly bullish because it means the network is more secure than ever. We see $200 billion in value locked in DeFi protocols, meaning that all of the other altcoins in the space, or at least a lot of the layer 1 network protocols, are working incredibly well. We saw $6.6 trillion in Ethereum volume over the last 12 months. We see that there's 200 million users in crypto. We see entire nation states adopting this space. I said on Around the Blockchain over on BitBoy Crypto's channel 6 months ago that the inflection point will happen when about 13.5% of the market adopts Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, because that's when about 1 in 7 people know crypto. We've all got on average about 7 people that are relatively close to us, and people need to know that they have somebody that they trust that is using cryptocurrency. Manny, how much easier was it for you to get into crypto because you trusted somebody that could teach it to you?
Oh, it was so much easier. I mean,
Exactly.
Before I had no idea. Then I talked with Jebb, I talked with Tim, and these are people who I know and I trust. Those are my brothers, and they were able to help me get on board, and now I'm on board and I love it.
And that is happening around the world right now, guys. 1 in 7 people right now in crypto, right now in the world, it's getting close to that number. It's not quite there yet. It's probably like 1 in 15, 1 in 20 are using cryptocurrency or at least know a little bit about it. Conversations are happening at dinner tables around the world. This thing is just getting started. So I'll wrap out the bullish segment with this. I think that we are going to see a market capitalization of the cryptocurrency market rallying to $5 trillion at some point next year. When that happens, I think that Bitcoin is going to maintain between 40 and 60% market dominance. If that occurs, then Bitcoin's market capitalization will go to between $2 and $3 trillion. Well, taking a look at coin market cap, right now, $1 trillion market cap equals $55,000 on Bitcoin. If we go to $2 trillion market cap on Bitcoin, that's $110,000. If we go to $3 trillion market cap on Bitcoin, that's $165,000. I think that we're going to see the upper range of that, and within the next 9 months, we are going to see at least $165,000 Bitcoin. Guys, it is our job to do technical analysis and fundamental analysis on these markets. I literally do it 11 hours a day. That's what the entire point of our company with 10 people on board is to do technical analysis, read these markets. We know what we're talking about. We have many, many people looking at these markets and a lot of reasons that we don't have time to go into in this stream that we believe that's going to happen. I think we're going to see over $150,000 Bitcoin within the next 9 months, and I want to hear your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. Really quickly, we're going to go into a 5-minute intermission. We're going to read some super chats. We're going to interact with you guys. I want to thank every single one of you for watching. Let's see, how many people do we have watching? I'm going to jump onto my screen, jump onto the YouTube. We got 5,000 people watching, guys. There are already 2,000 likes. I should have set that bar a little higher.
You should have set it a little higher, man. The people want to hear you rap.
Should have set that bar a little higher. 2,500 likes, and I will rap for you at the end of the stream. So make sure to hit that like button, guys. Really, really looking forward to it. And hey, guys, I just want to remind you, this show is brought to you by our very own Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. I've been pouring my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing for the last 3 years. It launched September 23rd, 2018. 2018. It's been around for over 3 years. We have helped 5,000 students learn technical analysis, the likes of which I just did. You just saw all the technical analysis that I did. Everything I know, I have poured into that academy. I have taught 5,000 students how to do technical analysis much faster than they would have had to do on their own. It took me 10,000 hours to learn all this stuff, working in it every single day, all day, every day for years. I want to shorten that time frame, get you up to speed so that you're able to do this technical analysis and you don't miss out on the next bull market that is starting now. So make sure you check that link down below if you want to learn more about technical analysis. Drop a 1 in chat if you're an alumni of CT2A and you love it. With that said, guys, we need to go ahead and read some super chats. So let's do just that. I have our document up right here. I want to first and foremost thank our new member, Crypto Crazy 420. I think you just joined, didn't you? Yeah, Crypto Crazy 420 just joined as a Jebb Youngling. Thank you very much, my friend.
Crypto.
Let's go. We got so many super chats, dude. Oh my gosh. Revive Woodworks donated 10 bucks, said, which of the top coins will have the highest percentage increase over the next 3 to 6 months? That is a fantastic question. And guys, just so you know, we're going to be jumping back into our technical analysis here in about 3 minutes, so stay tuned. Highest percentage in the next 3 to 6 months. It's not in the top 10. So this is not really what you asked. It's number 13, but it's Avalanche. My answer, even though you asked the top 10, it's number 13. It's got to be Avalanche, my friend. I think Avalanche is a phenomenal protocol. If you guys want to learn more about Avalanche, make sure to go back on the channel. We did an Altcoins Anonymous video on it like 2 weeks ago. And you can also ask Kelly, who is in the chat. He's our researcher right now. He's got a lot of thoughts on Avalanche. I'm sure he'd love to explain it to you. I think that is going to perform better than any of them. Let's see. Alessandro the Cynical said, good morning, guys. If the U.S. defaults, how do you think this will affect crypto? Well, if the U.S. were to default on its debt, which, you know, the funny thing is, the U.S., depending on who you ask, still has a AAA credit rating, which makes no sense to me when we got $30 trillion in debt and a $3 trillion revenue for the federal government. It'd take 10 years for them to generate enough revenue if they had zero expenditure to pay off all that debt without printing money into oblivion, but, you know, they like to do that. I digress. If the U.S. defaulted on its debt, the entire world economy would probably collapse. Bitcoin would probably collapse because of that, but from the ashes, Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space would be part of the rebuilding. So that's what I would think would happen there. I have the Beholder donated. What are your thoughts on the ETH chart? The ETH chart right now is set up for a gigantic rally. It's in the same ascending triangle pattern that I witnessed personally back in 2017. When that happened, Ethereum rallied from $400 to $1,400. It was a 150% rally. I think the same thing is likely to happen relatively soon on Ethereum. We got some more content coming out on that, and we actually made a video yesterday on that too if you'd like to see why I think a $6,000 Ethereum is right around the corner. Let's see here. Also want to give a quick call out to some of our people who super chatted. We don't have time to read every single one of these because we have to jump back into our chat. But Mattis donated twice. Thank you very much. Rick4962, Yard Dog himself. He said, hope Tim is feeling better. I think he's getting there, I hope. Be praying for him, guys. All of our brothers in Christ. Thank you guys very much for those. Michael D'Amato donated. Hubabt donated. I think I got that right. And Jack and Clark, thank you guys very much for donating. I really, really appreciate that. Guys, we're going to jump back into our technical analysis here. If you're enjoying today's stream, make sure to hit that like button. Looks like we are at 2,400 likes, so looks like at the end of the stream, you guys are going to hear me rap. It's going to be interesting. I can't carry a tune, but I can talk fast, so I think that's what matters, right? Let's go ahead and jump back onto my screen. We are going to not spend very much time here at all because, like I said, look, guys, here's the philosophy behind this channel. We want to bring you the bullish and the bearish so that you guys can make an informed decision on what you believe. So it's our mission to make you financially free. It's our vision to make you financially free. We want you to see both sides of the story because it's very easy for someone to paint one side of a story or the other side of the story if the other side of the story doesn't have any representation. We want to give you both sides. That's why we have a bullish segment first and a bearish segment second. We're optimists, so we like to put the bullish first, and obviously we've been bullish lately. Right now, there's not much bearish. In fact, there's one thing I found that's bearish, and it shows up out on the monthly chart or on the weekly chart. Let's take a look at my screen. Really, the only thing that I can find, and I said earlier that this might actually be a bullish thing, the volume on the monthly chart for Bitcoin, on the weekly chart for Bitcoin, has been consistently declining since January. But here's the thing. Bitcoin is in a massive, or was in a massive symmetrical triangle pattern. What do we know about symmetrical triangle patterns? Well, in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, in this video right here, on continuation patterns, wedges and pennants, all these videos in here, we talk about it. We talk about how during a consolidation pattern or during a symmetrical triangle pattern event like this, volume is expected to decline. Well, what happens when you break a symmetrical triangle pattern? The volume is expected to come back in moonshot as you rally out of it. Basically what this means, and I threw this in the bearish segment because literally I couldn't find anything else to put here. I looked, guys. I spent like half an hour looking for more bearish technicals. I couldn't find any. Maybe I'm missing some. Tell me in the chat if you see anything. This volume declining is technically a bad thing because it means that there's less network activity. But the thing is, being in the symmetrical triangle pattern means that it's supposed to decline, and it means that once we break out, which, knock knock, we just did 2 days ago, we should be seeing that volume come back in a big way. So technically, theoretically, it is a bearish thing, but it's actually, in my opinion, a setup for the rest of this rally. Guys, like I said, I ain't got much to tell you. I don't think I have, I have literally nothing else in my notes. Oh, here's a bearish thing. George Soros got into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency recently. We just had that confirmed. I guess you could say that's a bearish thing. Nevertheless, that's all I got for you on bearish. So we're going to actually jump straight on into our concluding segment. And we're going to start discussing inflation. Guys, we have to understand the long term. The reason why what you are about to hear from Manny and I is so important is this. Bitcoin was created for a reason. DeFi was created for a reason. The current cryptocurrency space as it stands, these products that were built are here for a reason. And a lot of people get into crypto and they say, oh man, I can make 1,000% in this altcoin. And never stop to ponder why this was made in the first place. Crypto was designed and built to make you financially free, not just free from debt, not just free from not having enough money to pay your bills, but also free from traditional financial systems that don't have your best interest at heart. One of those is the chronic inflation that we've seen of the US dollar and of every other national currency over the last 100 years. The US dollar officially went off the gold standard in 1971. That's BS. We started inflating the US dollar around the Civil War when we started printing more money. So the problem here is that inflation leads to a devaluation of your dollar. And we're going to talk more about that in a second, but I need you to understand why what we're talking about here is so important and how it ties into the long term. The more that Bitcoin is able to solve these systemic problems that hundreds of millions, if not billions and billions of people are struggling with, the more that it is able to solve that problem, the more value will go to it, the higher the price will go, and the more money you'll make. It's our dream for you to be financially free, not just financially free from debt, not just financially free from not being able to pay your bills and not having enough money for retirement, but also to be financially free from systems that were not designed with your best interest at heart. So that's what we're talking about here. It's really important. I don't want you to miss that. Guys, inflation sucks. I can rant about it all day long, but I actually want to turn it over to Manny. Manny, you're our CFO. You have been working in the financial world for a very long time. You are the second oldest person in the company. You've got almost 10 years on me in business. You've been around the block. You've been studying inflation a lot lately. Explain inflation to me like I'm a 5-year-old, and why should we as investors of cryptocurrency and as citizens of the world in general care about inflation?
Absolutely. So inflation rate is something that I feel most of us understand conceptually, but not tangibly. To help explain this, and like you said, like a 5-year-old. So we're all going to do a quick little example here. Take $100. Let's say you have $100 in your pocket. And you know what? I'm going to even make this more simple for a 5-year-old. You have $1. And that $1 is going to decrease over the course of a year. This year, is the inflation rate right now, holding this month, is 5.3%. So you're going to take that dollar and you're going to say, okay, let's multiply that. So I'll do that for little Billy. Let's do it for little Sally. We're going to talk little Sally. Because I also believe, let's go, women in finance and in crypto.
Heck yeah,
if you guys want to see more women in crypto, drop one in the chat real quick. But anyway, so you've got $1. We're going to multiply it by 5.3%. And what does that get you? So for every dollar, little Sally, that you have in your pocket a year, it is going to lose its value by 0.053 cents. And what does that mean? Oh my goodness. What does that mean, Manny? What does that mean for little Sally? What that means is that for every dollar that you have, you need to have some way, some shape, some form of increasing that dollar by 0.053 cents annually if you want to increase with your buying power and keep it the same. Now, I'm going to make this very, very tangible for you guys. Here's the sad truth. In the history of inflation, the economy has seen an inflation rate since the beginning of the dollar till today, over 2,000% inflation rate, okay, over the course of its lifetime. What does that mean for us today? What that means for us is that, let's say in your savings account right now, most annual savings account interest that you will gain, if you get a high yield savings account, it's about 0.40%.
Which is a scam.
Which is a scam, and that sucks because the inflation rate again is 5.3%. If what's in your savings right now is not growing by at least 5.3%, you're losing money.
It's like what's in your wallet. You know that guy that comes on television and says, "What's in your wallet?" A hole's in my wallet. That's what's in my wallet. That's where all my money's going.
That's exactly it. And here's the sad truth. Okay. I'm gonna put a little plug in for Netflix right now. Netflix has this cool little document series that Vox News does. They have it on retirement. I highly encourage you to check this out. They document people, and they're like a lot of people in their retirement life, and they're 65, 67. They reach the end of their work career, and they find out they just don't have enough money to retire, and they wonder why. I'll never forget this clip, Jebb. This clip is this old lady, and she's sobbing, and she's crying, and she's sad, and she's depressed because she's like, no one told me. No one told me that my money would lose so much value over the course of time. I thought $500,000 was enough right now, but $500,000 divided by 25 years is not that much at all. And I have from 65 to 85 to 90 to live off of this $500,000. This is what I'm trying to say, guys. Retirement, what they say now, you need $1 million in the bank account by the time you're 65 to retire in a middle class that's lower than middle class. What does that mean for us? Well, if your money is losing value by 5.3% a year, let's say you're 30 like I am, I'm 30 years old. In 35 years, my $1 million needs to equal $2,813,862 to just hold its value. So I need to not have $1 million in the bank if I want to have $50,000 a year from age 65 to 85. I need to have $2,813,862. So this is what we're talking about, inflation. Inflation is a powerful tool, and it's sad because the course of the dollar just loses and loses and loses. And this is what we're all about here on the Crypto Jebb Show. This is why we talk to you about cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency, you can only make how many Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen? 21 million Bitcoin. That's all you can make.
Yes, sir.
That means that there is a fixed inflation rate. So by the end of the life of Bitcoin, when it has 21 million Bitcoin out there, it's not going to grow in inflation anymore because there can only be 21 million. You can't print any more or any less. You can't take it away. All that being said is that there is no set inflation rate after the 21 million. This is why Bitcoin, exactly what Jebb said this morning, is the new gold, the digital gold. it is something even people are now saying, hey, buy gold now more than ever. Because the earth, you can't force the earth to create more gold in the same way. The good thing about blockchain, you cannot force the blockchain to make more than 21 million Bitcoin.
Yeah, look, guys, the thing about blockchain technology, and this is really at the core of it, the reason that blockchain is so valuable, and please, if you take anything from this show other than the inflation stuff, take this. The reason that blockchain is so valuable and has gone from $0 to $2 trillion in market cap, how often, by the way, do you see an asset class go from $0 to $2 trillion in a decade? That is rare. The last time we saw that happen was the internet, and you guys saw how big of a deal the internet was. Why did the blockchain space do that? Because blockchain is the first way in human history that you can make anything that is digital provably scarce. Bitcoin has provable scarcity. Think about it. How easy is it for you to copy and paste a document? I can copy the notes that we have for this show and paste it 1 billion times online. You know, I can do that. That's super easy. But blockchain gives us the first way in the history of mankind to have in the virtual world the same thing we have in the physical world. In the physical world, I have this laptop, right? If I want another laptop, I got to go get the iron and the plastic and the metal and the aluminum and all the transistors and all the electronics and all the electricity to build another one. I can't just go, poof, I got another laptop. It is provably scarce. It is difficult, if you will use a cryptocurrency mining term or a real mining term, to make another one of these. Blockchain gives us the first way in human history to have something provably scarce online. Before blockchain was invented, there was no such thing as provable scarcity, meaning that it is proven that there is only one of these in existence, that there's only a certain amount of something in existence online. It's the first time in human history it's ever happened. And that leads me into a tweet that I want to reference from Kelly Kellum. By the way, guys, Kelly went from 98 followers on his Twitter account 2 weeks ago to 1,700 today. He's got a lot of cool stuff he's going to start doing at 2,000. Awesome. He is working on our research team, helping us bring us this show. So make sure to go and follow him, Kelly Kellum, on Twitter. He shows this on his Twitter. With Bitcoin still steadily climbing, the long-term holders are still accumulating. This shows that we most likely have much more to the upside. Take a look at the illiquid supply at ATH. The illiquid supply is the amount of Bitcoin not being traded on exchanges. The amount of cryptocurrency being held by long-term hodlers right now is at an all-time high. We're talking over 2/3 of the Bitcoin in existence, close to 3/4 of the Bitcoin in existence, nearly 15 million Bitcoin is sitting in a hard wallet being held for the long term. It is illiquid supply. What is illiquid supply? It means it's a part of the supply that has not moved in a long time. This is the purpose of Bitcoin. It is the new gold. We don't want to see a bunch of transactions happening all the time on gold because its purpose is not to be a medium of transaction. When's the last time you bought a cup of coffee in gold? Now, I'm not saying that's not going to happen for Bitcoin. There are reasons to believe that Bitcoin could become a daily driver currency in the future. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the Bitcoin maximalists out there that believe that Bitcoin is only going to be digital gold and isn't going to be used for transactions. I think it is going to be used as a cryptocurrency as things like Lightning Network and Jack Mallers' Strike app come online. That being said, the reason that people buy Bitcoin right now is not for transaction capability. They buy it to store value into the future and have inflation hardening. Manny, I want to ask you a question on this. If the purpose of Bitcoin, or at least the main use case of Bitcoin right now, is to hedge against inflation, and we are seeing more people than ever use their Bitcoin to hedge against inflation, what does that say about the price? We've seen more people using Bitcoin to hedge inflation right now than we did when we were at 65,000. The fundamentals right now are stronger than we were at 65,000. I would say that means that we should be going above $65,000 relatively soon because we're undervalued. What do you think?
I couldn't agree more. You know, I think the main deal here is saying, hey, what is happening with cryptocurrency to hedge inflation? People are saying, hey, I want my money to increase. And what do you do with your money increase? You put it in something that's going to increase. The dollar, is it going to increase if it sits in your pocket? Absolutely not. Guys, get your money in something that's going to actually increase its value, you know, and this is what we're talking about here. This is why, hard push here, CT2A. Man, it is, I just recently started taking the course more, diving deeper and deeper, understanding technical analysis. CT2A is all about bringing customer value to you guys, and in order to bring customer value, we want to see your money grow.
Real quick, on that note, Manny, and I want to let you continue answering, but Joffrey Fritz actually had a super chat earlier, and I want to read this because it's really cool. Please. He said, buy CT2A. I used my Doge profits back in May to invest in myself because I knew I got lucky with Doge. He is endorsing CT2A. He's been in it for about 5 months. So, guys, make sure to go ahead and check that out. Links in the description. There you go. Back to you, Manny.
Oh, no, that's all I have to say. I mean, cool. That's it. I couldn't agree more. So,
cool beans. Gotcha. Well, here's the thing, guys. I think Artem said, Jebb, we know you're 34. I'm not 34. I'm 21. I promise. I turned 21 a month and a half ago. I prefer amped crypto, Jebb. Yeah, I am very amped right now, guys. I am super freaking pumped right now. Here's the deal, guys. I just told you that I think that the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market is going to go all the way to $5 trillion in value. Why? Well, Bitcoin doesn't just contend with its charts. It also contends with its market capitalization charts. If you're watching Coffee and Crypto yesterday, which, by the way, we go live 9:30 Eastern time every single day. Make sure to tune in so you know what the price is doing and you're ready for the day. I showed you a chart that Kelly shared with us having to do with the altcoin with the altcoin market capitalization. It's in a massive cup and handle formation. You can actually do technical analysis on a market cap chart the same way you can on a price chart. And one of the things that you're going to realize is that there's support and resistance on a market cap chart as well as on the price action chart. Right now, cryptocurrency market capitalization is sitting around $2.2 trillion. Bitcoin is right below $1 trillion. We just rejected off of $1 trillion market cap, by the way. You might be saying, oh, well, Jebb, why'd we reject off of $55,000? I don't really see anything on the chart that signifies that being the level of resistance. Well, that's because that's not the level of resistance that we rejected off of. Yes, 55 is a psychological level. Yeah, sure. But look on my screen over here on CoinMarketCap, you can see where we are right now is just shy of $1 trillion. We rejected from $1 trillion market cap. A lot of people took profits up here because we're setting local highs. By the way, just so you realize, we have not seen Bitcoin trading at the level that it's trading at right now in 4 months. Actually, 5 months. It's been mid-May since we saw Bitcoin sitting at 55. People are excited right now, and we're about to see a massive influx of retail and institutional volume. A lot of these institutions wanted to see Bitcoin crash down to $30,000 again so they could buy the dip. They don't have that option now because retail is taking back over this market and we're pumping. And now they have to get back on our train because we're back in control. And where do we want it to go? We want it to go to the moon because the fundamentals have grown. Here's the thing. I think that the next pit stop for cryptocurrency is a $5 trillion market. Right now, we're at $2.2 trillion. That would be roughly a little over a doubling. Bitcoin right now has a 44.6% market capitalization. If we went to $5 trillion and we had a 44.6% market capitalization, quick maths, that'd be a $2.23 trillion market cap on Bitcoin, which means that if we're at $1 trillion right now, we need to multiply 54.5 times 2.23. That gives us a price target on Bitcoin at $120,000 if we go towards that level. But here's the deal. If we go to $120,000 by the end of December, like Plan B says we're going to, he says we're going to be at $135 by the end of the month, the end of the month of December, I don't think we're going to stop. In fact, I don't think we're even going to come close to stopping because I think there is so much money on the sidelines right now waiting to jump into Bitcoin that has not the confidence to get in because we're still below all-time high and there's still this narrative out there that we have not broken all-time high and this is just a big bull trap and we're going to go into an extended bear market. It's not going to happen, I don't think anyway. Obviously, I can't predict the future perfectly, although we've been pretty accurate lately. I say that with all humility. I probably should have said that. Either way, the fact of the matter is Bitcoin has everything it needs right now. I think it's going to go to $5 trillion. If and when it does, we'd be at $120,000 on Bitcoin. And I'll leave you with this, and then I'm going to throw it back to Manny for a question. I think that in the same way that in 2017, we saw Bitcoin rally all the way to $10,000. People got really excited about that. And then after we hit $10,000, the FOMO carried us all the way to 20. I think we're going to see something similar when we hit 100. I don't think we're going to hit 100 and like run into a brick wall. I think we're going to hit 100 and we're going to smash through a paper wall. And we're going to keep going because there are so many people sitting on the sidelines, institutions as well, sitting on the sidelines because some of these institutions want to buy the dip, but there's also institutions that don't specialize in finance that want to have a little bit more security before they get in. I think there are hundreds of billions of dollars sitting on the sidelines right now, and we've seen that in play. I mean, there's a lot of facts behind that, and when they come in, the price is going to moonshot. So, Manny, $5 trillion in this asset class. We'd be adding $2.8 trillion in market capitalization within 9 months. Yeah. Do you think that's realistic?
Well, let me ask you this question first.
Sure.
What is the main thing that drives the price of crypto, specifically Bitcoin?
It's a great question. The thing that drives the price action of Bitcoin and crypto are people buying and selling cryptocurrency. Exactly. We don't have to pour $2.8 trillion into the market. To move us to $5 trillion, we might only need to pour a couple $100 billion.
That's it. And so that would be my answer. Hey, guys, if we want to see the market go up in Bitcoin specifically, it's just exactly like the stock market in this way, and it is saying, hey, usually the perceived value of said company is placed by the people who are buying the stocks and shares within the company. Same thing with Bitcoin. The perceived value is by people buying, selling, trading, and all these things. But it is our job as crypto believers, and I said this a while back when I was on the show. I was like, it's like spreading the gospel of crypto. It's if you believe in something that is so valuable, you're going to share it with people. And like we talked about here earlier today in the show, Jebb, the reason why I got on board because of crypto is people who I trusted helped inform me. Guys, be good informants. Go out there, share the gospel of crypto, inform people, and let them know, hey, this is the reason why this is a good buy. I mean, guys, I was talking with Kelly this morning. He was telling me how, he's trying to get his mom into crypto. It's the same thing with me. I'm like trying to get my mom into crypto. This is like a generational gap that we do need to bridge. All that being said, guys, hey, do I think 150 grand is doable in 8 months? Absolutely. And the way that's going to happen is by people going out there and sharing the information.
Yes. Yeah. I just to jump in on that, that's what I've been saying, guys. And that's what I love that you said that, because it's like at the end of the day, the whole point of what yesterday, if you guys tuned in, I talked about how I didn't think we were going to hit 100K this year. And the reason I still think we're going to do it within the next like 4 or 5 months, just to let you guys know. But what I was saying, in that was exactly what he just said. I don't think crypto enthusiasts can do it alone, right? If you just think if you're doing it yourself, that you as a crypto enthusiast are just going to be able to, as a group, be able to propel the price, you're not going to get too far unless you start getting everyone else in on that ship as well. And I think I love that exactly, because to think it's going to happen on its own, I think is kind of misguided. You have to actually everyone here, 5,000 people watching, have to take individual action for the ship to move. And that's why I agree exactly what you said.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing, guys, and I'll leave you with this, and then I will wrap, because we actually did hit 2,500 likes. I should have set that goal. I should have set that target a little higher. Here is my final point, and this wraps this whole stream up into a nutshell. Inflation is how we've built our modern economy. We lead our economy with 2 to 3% inflation every single year. That is not a good idea. That's not a good idea at all. Did you ever notice that wars started getting a lot bigger after the Civil War? For most of human history, unless you go back to the Roman era, and I'll talk about that in a second, wars were actually pretty small. Countries were pretty small. And then right around the Civil War, you start seeing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of men on the battlefield. You see millions during this First and Second World War. Why? Because the nations found a way to finance a war that big. Obviously, the population of Earth got bigger, yes. But where did all the money to finance that come from? You realize how much money it takes to drive a war effort with 1 million dudes or more? 2-3 million men? You know how expensive that is? Where do you get the money for that? You don't get the money from that for taxing people. Even if you tax a nation of 200 million people like America had at the time, or 100 million, whatever it was, you won't get enough money to finance that. Where do you get the money? You print it. You see, we started suspending redeemability for U.S. dollars in gold, and the nation of America and the rest of the world started printing money. We only officially went off the gold standard in 1971 under Nixon, but we started going off the gold standard in 1871, right around the time of the Civil War. Earlier than that, actually, around the 1863, 64, 65, somewhere in there. We started printing money. We started funding war efforts. We started funding expansion through inflation. And you know what that looks like? That looks a lot like somebody getting addicted to some kind of drug, and they go and every single day, to make sure that they have enough energy to move, they just do it. They go ahead and do that. And yeah, it gives them the energy. And yeah, they have a lot of excitement. And by the way, that's not me. I just like caffeine. Caffeine's technically a drug, but I don't know if that counts. Maybe we can count myself.
My brother.
Maybe we can count that. Maybe we can count me doing caffeine. Clarify. Do not clip that. That was saying.
Go ahead and edit that live somehow.
Do not edit that, please. For the love of God, I hate that idea. Caffeine. Every single day that you use caffeine, you are getting yourself all hyped up. When in theory, shouldn't you really just be able to be that hype without caffeine? See, you have to give yourself this caffeine every single day to get yourself hyped up. And that's what they're doing with inflation. We're giving ourselves 2 or 3% inflation every single year, and we're constantly giving ourselves another dose, another dose, another dose, another dose to keep us going. When really, shouldn't we be able to run the economy with 0% inflation anyway? There's enough dollars out there to have enough liquidity for everybody to be able to subdivide their dollars down to the point where they're able to make the transactions that they need to make. Right? We don't need that. But we got addicted to it. We're addicted to inflation. And by the way, I mentioned the Roman Empire. You think, oh, well, wait a second, Jebb. The Roman Empire, back then, the wars were a lot bigger. Well, guess what? The Roman Empire was clipping coins and debasing the currency and causing inflation. That's how they afforded those giant militaries. We are running our economy on inflation right now, and it is going to bite us in the butt, and Bitcoin's the savior. period. That's the point of the stream.
Hey, Jebb, real quick question. If people want to know more and get even deeper with you and with Tim, how would they go about doing that?
They can do that by hitting that subscribe button, but they can also do that by checking out the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. You guys are going crazy in chat. I swear. Please, don't even make fun of that. That is a
also, guys,
terrible
hey,
idea.
listen, our YouTube membership is actually all about, plugging you guys into
Yeah.
a deeper way of doing that. So we have monthly Q&A for some of our packages there with our YouTube membership. But also at the same time, hey guys, we're doing office hours for CT2A. That means you guys get exclusive time with Jebb and with Tim to dive deeper into the CT2A content. We're trying to bring you the best customer value possible, and that's what we're doing here.
That is coming in the future, so make sure to look forward to that. Thank you guys so much. You guys wanted me to rap, so
We need to hear this rap.
okay.
Come on, rap.
I'm going to give you a verse from NF's That's a Joke. I have to, like, get enough breath.
Get in the zone, baby. Get in the zone. Come on.
I took a minute now. I'm at the better end of all of it. The day I want to quit will be a bitter one to swallow because I'm in it when I said I wasn't really into audibles. I guess you got to call them when your odds are with the bottom and it's stacking up against you. It's a pity, but they got to give a nod to me. I'm running with the best of them to kind of make a profit off of everything you told me wasn't possible. So why would you continue with the narrative and not admit I'm something incredible? Look of a general. Hit him with the end of a shovel. They want to forget it. I put him on the ground and I get up and open up the pit of my stomach to remind him again I'm a whole different animal. Whatever the case, I'm going to get it. I'm in it. No doubt I will give it everything if I got it, but not if the comments are pushing me to run with the comment. The joke inside, if you took away the dummies and bias, knows that I am insane. Boom, there you go.
Come on, somebody. Woo! Dude, guys, drop a 7777. That's
Do
4
it.
sevens in the chat if you loved what Crypto Jebb just did. Come on.
Boom, there you go. You guys asked for it. Super cringe. That's what somebody
Well,
said. You're probably right.
I gotta say something now, though. I think we should probably start to read some super chats.
Come on,
Yes,
chat.
absolutely.
Just so you guys know, we probably won't have time to read every
Yeah.
single one of them. I know that that's not ideal, but we thank you guys all so much for supporting the channel, and we really love and appreciate you guys either way.
Absolutely, guys. Let's go ahead and read some super chats here. Like I said, we probably won't, or like Smay said, we probably won't have time to get to all of them. I do want to thank all of our new members. I think we just had one new member here also. We had Shannon, if you have that, Shannon's watching real quick. I think we're missing one. Somebody just joined as a member. It's gone in the chat now. Tell me who that was. Shout out to our 2 new members. There are 2 of them. But I also want to give a shout out to Kelly. He said, it's okay for volume that low in the monthly triangle. We're only on the 5th day of the month. Absolutely, Kelly is right. Matt C. donated. He said, if we run another 9 months extended cycle, do you think we will have our normal bear market afterwards, or do you think it'll be less severe than in the past? Matt C., I totally think that we will see a less severe bear market than we have in prior cycles, and I'm planning on making some more content about that in the future. I don't think we're ever going to see an 85% all-time high correction like we have again in the past. Drew Brown donated, said Bitcoin Cash all-time high 43.55. If we hit over $100,000 on Bitcoin, where do you see Bitcoin Cash going? Frankly, Bitcoin Cash could go to a couple $1,000s. I don't think it's a good project, to be honest with you. Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin, the hash wars of 2018, the fork that happened in 2017. I think Bitcoin Cash is a joke. That's why I don't talk about it, but it could go up. I just don't think it's going to be something that we should really focus too much on. Matsy also donated again. He said, I think yesterday was Bitcoin's 12th birthday. Bitcoin was born, if you will, or the first block was mined anyway on January 3rd, 2009. So January 3rd of this year was his 12th birthday from being mined, but yesterday might have been its 13th birthday from it being created. I forget when the white paper was released. You could have gotten over 1,000 Bitcoin for $1. Let that sink in. Absolutely. Travis J. also donated. Am I the only one that seems to be able to see AVAX on Coinbase but can't trade it? I'm not sure. I haven't tried to trade it over there. Guys, maybe you can help him in chat. Travis J. Rise of the Crypto Walker also donated. He said, not financial advice. My ETH got stopped out at 33.50 overnight, and now I'm trying to find my way back in. Would you FOMO back in or at current or wait? Look, guys, that comes straight down to your risk tolerance and your time horizon. If you have a very short-term time horizon, you're trying to do a day trade, then that's where we get into a lot more technicals, and I'm not going to go there because I want to give you a good piece of advice, or not advice, some good technical analysis if we were to go there. Kenneth Reed, that's who the other super chat was. The other donor was. Thank you so much. But if you're looking to invest, I think now is a great time, and I think you would be missing out if you didn't. Anyway, guys, like I said, this show is brought to you by the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. If you want to learn more, you can check the link in the description box down below. That's where I teach you guys everything that I know about technical analysis. You guys have seen that I know what I'm talking about, and I've been working here for over 4 years. I'm not just some random guru who just started TA. I've been here for a minute. We do this every single day, and I want to teach you everything that I know. The link is down below. That is where Tim learned everything that he has learned about technical analysis. Guys, we will be normally doing price predictions during this time, but price predictions are not here because Tim is not here, so we will be bringing that back next week. If you enjoyed today's show, make sure to smash that subscribe button. I have a price prediction of 200,000 subscribers by the end of the month, and I want to hear your take on that. Are we accurate there? Hit that subscribe button, and hopefully we can see it happen. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.